What's going on here? This is on a strange angle. Morning, how are you? Yes. Oh, are you? Yeah, the one on the left-hand side. Yeah. Yeah, I've seen different tenants coming and go, but I'm Tori. Hi, Ruth. Yeah, the tenants that you had, I actually had to go into the Telstra shop one day and I said, what's your address? I said 16 East Street. She's like, we live in East Street too. So
was she number one?
They were your last tenants, young couple.
Yeah, they were young. She worked in the butcher last time I saw her, but we only come down once a year.
Right, yeah, no, so she was, whereabouts do you live?
Oh, we live in Melbourne.
Oh, right.
I grew up in Tassie, and we've had 4 kids, so we used to bring them down for the summer and rent the place out for them.
Yeah, no, we've seen a bit of a revolving door of tenants, but they're all fine. But yeah, she ended up at Telstra and she said, we've got to move out right before Christmas.
Yeah, I know, it's a pest, but they did know that from the start.
They did, she said that, so they just enjoyed it while they had it.
Yes. We didn't have any trouble with them.
No,
that was good.
So you come down for a couple of months, do you, for summer, or?
Look, it's going to be less and less, I think, because all my kids have gone north.
Right, yeah.
Like I've got one in Darwin, I've got one in Newcastle.
Right, yeah.
My son's about to go to America.
Right.
My other son, he'll be in Melbourne, so.
Well, hang on to it because you probably noticed house prices have gone up here significantly.
Well, I only got back here yesterday, so I haven't sort of tapped into it all yet.
Yeah, well, I mean, when I built this 5 years ago, and it's gone up 10% every year.
Right.
So.
Yeah,
it's really hard now. People are trying to buy into the area.
Yeah.
So if you do decide to sell it, try and do a private sale.
Okay. Well, I've just been for a big walk around on the beach and up and around here, and I only saw one place for sale, and I always think that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Because it means
when I bought down here, there were for sale signs on every second house. I'm like, get in now.
It's so beautiful.
It's stunning. I'm about to go down the beach, and I've got. YouTube. I'm walking down, but I'm live on YouTube. But your face isn't in the camera, Ruth, don't worry. I take my little YouTube people for a stroll on the beach. They love it.
So what do you do?
Hi, Lady Pegasus. I've been working as a corporate lawyer for the last 5.5 years. 6 years. Well, 6 years in May. But I'm trying to find something more local and community focused. Just sort of at that age where I want to give back to this community, and there's so much happening down here on the peninsula.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah, so
that traffic fixed.
yeah, so that's improving.
Yeah.
But yeah, so 2020, I'm looking more for something a bit more local, and I'm going to start up my own little consultancy, sort of in pooling all my skills and experience, which are quite wide, but it's sort of like a communications consultant, everything from public speaking to teaching people how to do it to some media law stuff.
My grandfather was a Supreme Court justice years ago.
Down here?
No. My mum was from Adelaide and he was from Adelaide.
Yeah, I was a Supreme Court Justice Associate in South Australia because I studied law in Adelaide.
Did you? Well,
yes.
Have you heard of Leo Travers?
Yes.
Yeah, he was my grandfather.
Okay. Yeah, well, that's a very South Australian name.
It is.
And there's a Travis Morford Hall at at Adelaide Uni.
Yeah.
Which is probably named after him.
I'll just stand in here. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, I was an associate for Robert Moore, but that was like in the early 90s.
Yeah.
I mean, I grew up here and all my family are lawyers here, but...
What's his... Do you mind me asking?
Hodgman.
Okay.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah. So, and there were 6 of my brother and sister and cousins were all studying at UTAS, and I'd been overseas and I'd moved to Adelaide to be anonymous.
Yes.
Yeah, but I loved studying over there. I lived there, and I went there just to study and ended up being there for nearly 20 years.
Oh, right. My daughter's... my older daughter who's in Darwin, she studied medicine there.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So she decided after she'd like to go to Darwin, so she's been up there for a couple of years now.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, I mean, it's an easy place.
We've lived there for 5 years. we were Air Force officers.
Right.
I was a nursing officer and my husband was a pilot.
Right.
So he's with Qantas now, so we can sort of pop down a bit.
Yeah,
so.
for nothing. Or $15 or whatever it is.
Yeah, it's pretty convenient.
Yes,
So,
I need to hook up with the Qantas employee because all my friends that fly around the world for $100, I'm like, oh.
I know. Well, my best friend. Did you know the Shuttleworths at all? Did you ever
No.
play squash? They had the squash way down at Sandy Bay. Anyway, Jan, their only daughter, lives in America, and she and I went to school together. We went to Mount Carmel,
Right.
and she lives over there, so I just pop over and see her a couple of
Yeah,
times a year.
lovely.
She picks me up at the airport, and it's lovely.
Oh, well, I was a farm girl, so we went to school in the same area.
Yes, yeah.
But-
I actually did a couple of subjects at Hutchins, you know.
Yeah,
because
so
they
did, yeah, it was
did
great.
you-
We
yeah.
did too. Yeah, I couldn't wait for year 11 to go to Hutchins. I did a couple of subjects at Hutchins and a couple at collegiate.
Oh, nice.
I liked the moving around a bit.
Yeah, I did. I did too.
But we're
That
all,
was good
because
fun.
the schools were all fairly small, but we're all pretty close. So it really was one school, just with, 3 or 4 different campuses. That's how I felt.
But I was actually quite pleased because, the old Catholic, because we were the Catholic girls' school, that
Yeah.
there wasn't that barrier there, you
Yeah.
know, that they let us come up as well. So,
Yeah,
so I thought that was pretty good.
yeah. No, well, nice to meet you, Ruth. Happy New Year. Might see you again strolling around.
More than likely. Till the end of January.
Oh, lovely. Yeah, I'll definitely see you again. Have a good day. Bye. Hello, Lady Pegasus and everyone. Is anyone else chatting? Is it just you, Lady P? Or is it frozen? I can see 4 people. Sorry about that. I just met, you probably heard the story. Morning.
Morning, how are you?
Good, thanks. How are you? Excellent. Oh, do you belong to Ruth? I just met her. I'm Tori. I'm number 16.
Hi, Tori, how are you?
Very well, thanks. The new one up, or the timber one up on the bend.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Been there quite a while, have you?
5 years.
5 years, okay.
Yeah, so it's nice to finally meet you both. See the odd, the different tenants come and go, but
Yeah, we're here for about a month every year, so
yeah.
it's on you.
No, it's nice to meet you.
Likewise.
Yes. See ya. I don't know what's going on. If anyone's chatting, it's not moving. That sucks. Oh, here we go. It's just you chatting, Lady Pegasus. Well, that's fine. So yeah, I just met a lot of people own shacks where I live, and there's a shack at the end of my street which in the 5 years I've lived down here has been tenanted. And I'd heard on the grapevine that the couple that owned it sometimes came here for a month or so over summer, but I've never met them, and I just did. So that's kind of cool. So how have you been, Lady P, since it's just you and me, baby girl? Sorry about the bumpy steering. There are a lot of people walking around. It's a bit later than I normally go for my walk. I'm usually down here at sort of 7:30 and it's like 9ish, I think. 9:20, 9:30. Yeah, so it's already a beautiful day. We had a gorgeous day yesterday and tomorrow's going to be a stinker. I think it's going to be about 37 or 38, which is really, really hot for Tassie. So there'll be a very early morning swim. Try and get my body really cold so I can stay cold for the day, and then there'll be an evening one, but during the day it's going to be a stay undercover kind of day, I think. Yeah, it was nice to finally meet them. It's really such a beautiful community. I really love living here, as you probably all know, but it's not just the fact that there's a... Oh, hello, I'll let you through. I'm chattering away on YouTube. It's not just the fact that the beach is stunning, but and I love my little house, but the community is really beautiful here, and everyone's sort of looking out for each other. And we've got things down here like really good community centre. I'm starting a karma project down here, which is where rather than putting your TV that you're trying to sell, or, you know, on a buy and sell website and trying to get $50 for it. The idea of the Karma Project is, hey guys, I've got this telly, who needs one? And then you just give it away. Your Christmas hasn't been good. Oh no, Lady Pegasus. I'm sorry to hear that. I've had a very mixed one as well. I had, as you probably recall, my friend Bib's funeral was on Christmas Eve, which was really unusual because normally Christmas Eve for me is when I do my shopping. I'm not one of those people that buys presents throughout the year and I do a mad dash. I love leaving things to the last minute sometimes. Not everything, but for some reason Christmas shopping I do. So Bib's funeral made us all sort of slow down and focus on what matters. You know, and yet another really gorgeous human being no longer with us. So that's 3 very precious friends for me this year. But then Christmas Day, it was just my sister and me and Biscuit. And it was really lovely. Really gentle, fun. She's like my twin in a way. We're only 16 months apart. And yeah, we had a really beautiful day. Very gentle. And I've got friends visiting. I've had friends staying. But I'm so sorry to hear about yours. Just tighten this a bit. That's why we're wobbling. It's already quite a few people down here, so that's better. Just had to tighten that little screwy thingy. We'll go this way. So yeah, my Christmas was really gentle and beautiful. Just my sister and I, and Biscuit, who my sister started singing Christmas carols and replacing Jesus with Biscuit. And she was being really playful this morning, but then she gets kind of feral. And so I started singing her Away in a Manger, which includes the line, the little Lord Biscuit. And she calms right down. And then she was out on the, hey gee, mushy mushy, or moshi. I've been saying moshi wrong forever. Moshi, moshi moshi. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Merry Festivus, whatever you celebrate. I mean, I'm an atheist, but I still call it Christmas. I'm not PC. People got butthurt about Christmas being used somewhere the other day, and I was like, if that's your standard and you don't want to use it because it offends you, then that's your call. But stop inflicting pain on people who don't meet your standard. It's been Christmas for me for 53 years, or nearly 53 years, and I can't be fucked changing it. I do put Festivus. Like if I do a Christmas greeting, I do say Christmas and Festivus to try and placate the easily offended. But I'm hoping in 2020, for me, and I thought we could talk about resolutions, not that we have to follow them or keep them, who really does, but just a concept to take into the new year and the new decade. I just want people to be nicer. That's all I want. I said goodbye to 3 not perfect but beautiful human beings this year who were good people. You know, their primary sort of motive in anything they did was to make people happy, and they did that by being nice, and they're gone. And you go onto YouTube and it's just a cesspit of people who are nasty people. Social media generally, not just YouTube. So that's my wish. Spacey, hello. Absolutely talking about you. I said the word feral and look what appeared. Look what appeared. Perfect timing. How are you, gorgeous? So we've got to cheer Lady Pegasus up a bit because her Christmas was shit. Mine was very gentle. My Christmas Eve was not shit, but I mean, going to a funeral on Christmas Eve isn't really fun. And Bib's funeral was very sad. Very sad. There were many, many, many tears. Which, you know, that's part of a funeral, I guess, but I liked my friend Lou leaving her funeral to Another One Bites the Dust. It gave us all a bit of a chuckle at the end, whereas Bib's, it was very, very sad. And rightly so. Space is great. Lady Pegasus wants peace and for people to be nicer. Exactly. AG got drunk with her guinea pigs and then prayed to the porcelain god. Well, I think that's a good way to spend the day. It's funny, isn't it? I mean, my sister and I, we ended up doing a bit of a traditional Christmas dinner. We did do the turkey and pink eye potatoes and the potted peas, which is a bit of a traditional Christmas lunch that my family used to do, and I made bread sauce to go with the turkey. But to just spend it with her and the little Lord Biscuit, it just put it into perspective. It's not the first time it's been put into perspective for me, but it's not about the presents and it's not about cramming 83 people into your home. It's about who you spend the day with. You know, and we went for a gorgeous walk on the beach, and yes, Spacey. Hi Mel, how are you? Yeah, I know. I had another funeral, and I was just starting to process Lou's funeral. Some really weird shit's happened. Like a girlfriend of mine who I hadn't seen for a while, she interviewed me on the radio when I got Biscuit, and she was at Lou's funeral and absolutely distraught, as we all were. And then right before her Christmas, her dad was killed in a car accident. I was just like, fuck. 2019 felt to me like we're all sitting in a car that we couldn't control. Someone else was driving it, and it was just slamming us into walls and other cars and running over people, and it was a really challenging year for so many people. And I'm not going to say it was a bad year, and I mean, you know, on a scale of good to bad, it certainly was leaning towards bad for me, but it's all, everything that happened was life stuff, you know, so I don't want to label it bad because it's just part of life. But it really challenged people, I think, this year. So but I've been spending a lot of time with friends, family. I'm going to an event this afternoon called the Taste of Tasmania, with an uncle and auntie who are visiting from Canberra, my sister, and then my friends who are over from Hawaii, they're going to come in as well, and then some other friends of mine who also live in Canberra who are down, they're Tasmanians who moved. So we're all going to go to Taste of Tasmania, which is this fantastic food and wine, beer and cider and ginger beer event. Robbie, hello. Oh, Mel, I'm really, yeah, fuck you, 2019, for sure. So lovely to see you, Robbie. I love you too. Not 40 here today, Spacey, but tomorrow 37. And you've been to Tassie, you know how bitey the sun is, so it really is like, it's going to be like 42. Like when I was in Adelaide, if it was 42, that's what 37 here feels like. Because we've got that bitey sun. Hey, we went up on the top of Mount Wellington yesterday. We went to this beautiful gathering It was all my school friends. We've stayed fairly close. A group of us have. And we have an annual get-together. Well, we have 2 get-togethers, but we had our annual Christmas one. And it was about 28 degrees yesterday. It was just perfect weather. And then we went up on top of Mount Wellington, and it was 20 degrees on Mount Wellington. So I was up on the top of the mountain in a sundress and sandals. It was amazing. That's pretty special. Mel, really sorry to hear about your hubby's cousin. Standard operation on Boxing Day. That is so sad. When you're just going in to have a basic operation and you die. I mean, far out. That's so sad. So sorry to hear that. Only 42. Holy shit. No, Mel is not Mel. Well, Mel is not Mel. Chicken Mel. Getting ready for your day, Robbie. Yeah, Lady Pegasus lost a cousin as well. Spacey, you wish someone would taste your map of Tasmania, I'm guessing. You dirty feral. Oh, but Mel's only 7 minutes away from Mel. Wow. So I've been pretty absent from YouTube, and I've got to say, it's been lovely. I had a wake-up call well, I've had heaps of them, but I haven't really paid that much attention to them. But I've had a few wake-up calls this year, and I had one again recently where it's like, why are you investing your time into these people on YouTube? Like, pare things back. Who are you watching that you would actually be friends with in real life, or already are? And there's not, I think for most of us, we can all say we've met some people online that we get on well with in chats and enjoy, but, and I'm not saying they're not friends, but who out of the creators that you watch and the people you've met in chat are you in contact with off YouTube, like not just in chat? So think about those people, right? Whether you're emailing each other or chatting on Messenger, it's a handful. It's a handful. For me anyway. Some of you might be more than a handful, and that's cool too. Look at this beautiful kelp. Some of you who come on my beach walks already know that I love seaweed, and we just don't get a lot on this beach, but we've been getting heaps, and I love it. I just think it's beautiful. Could be weird, and it doesn't smell, by the way. Like, yeah. Oh my God, hello Sunshine, who I don't know why I follow because I don't think I've ever watched. But she's just gone live with the word feral in her title, Spacey. Oh. Feral. But the YouTubies, right? So I was like, well, why are you investing all this time into these people that are not actually people you would choose to spend time with in the real world, and you're not spending time with them in a real capacity even online? Stop giving them hours of your time. Now, I don't sit at my computer and watch YouTube. For the most part, I put on my Bluetooth headphones. Look at this giant pile of beautiful seaweed. I think chat's frozen again. Oh no, sorry. Hit the likes for our mermaid friend. Thank you, Robbie. The hills are alive with the sound of oceans. Hi, old woman. A nice change from the ice and snow. Yeah, I'm loving sharing our summer again with you guys. God, it came around quickly this time, don't you think? Like, doesn't actually feel that long since we were in summer here. Mind you, summer has only really just arrived in Tassie. It's taken a bit longer than usual. You know, we're in December and we're finally getting, not that we haven't had a few nice sunny days, but they haven't been It hasn't been like weeks of it. But I do love that. And I love seeing all of your snow stuff. Exactly. So, yes, give him the bird. Hi, Badger. Driving in Albuquerque, I think ABQ is. Well, it's lovely to have you with us, Badge. Lady Pegasus, agree. It's a handful for me too, which I've met through YouTube. Made a connection with and talk outside of YouTube. Exactly. This year has flown by, Lady Pegasus. It's crazy. It's crazy. But even the younger people in my life, like my niece Jemima, who's only, you know, in her early 20s, she's been saying since she was about 12 how quickly the years fly by. I said, well, that's sad, because when I was a kid, Christmas took forever to come around again. But I think with electronics and computers, you know, instant access to information, like the world's just moving at a much faster pace. So as children, you know, we didn't have, I mean, yeah, we got an Atari when we were all like, I don't know, probably young teenagers, but we didn't have electronic entertainment other than the black and white TV, which was limited to Young Talent Time and 60 Minutes on a Sunday night for us as little kids. But yeah, Jemima says the years fly for her, and I'm thinking that it's because, you know, the technology. Everything's just instantly accessible, whereas we used to have to go outside and use our imaginations to play all day. Good morning. Badger, the year I was incarcerated didn't fly by. What were you incarcerated for? I've got a feeling I've seen you in the chat somewhere saying it was drug related, maybe? Poor Badger. Hot. What are you talking about, Mel? Oh, woman, a few years ago I was already in a chat room where we watched an eagle nest and we all got together in real life. It was nice, but an odd mix. How cool, though. Does it get hot there, Tori? Like hot. Yes. Yes, it does. We do have 40-degree days. I was just chatting possibly before you came in. It's going to be 37, 38 tomorrow here. And you pretty much need to add 5 degrees to drug distribution. That's right. Ah, well, Badge, you did your time. You did your crime. You did your time. But that is interesting that the years drag by when you're incarcerated. I suppose it makes sense. Yeah, so it's going to be 38 here tomorrow, Mel, and that's put another 5 degrees on top of it. So like when I lived in Adelaide, a 42-degree day in Adelaide would feel like 47 here, because the hole in the ozone layer is over Tassie, and the sun down here bites like an absolute bitch. I mean, it's been what? We've had 3 warm days in a row, and I've walked on the beach each morning and I've got a tan already. Like, it's hot. But we don't have heat waves generally. Hey, it's Saturday in the morning and countdown. Oh, actually, we did get that too when we were a little bit older. What else did we... That's just reminded me of a few other shows. But yeah, Countdown we were allowed to watch, and Hey, it's Saturday we watched as well. But then Mum and Dad got us into, Mum mainly, my grandparents got me into a lot of English comedies, like Are You Being Served? And Yes Minister and The Goodies. Oh, and there was also, what about HR Puff and stuff? We were allowed to watch stuff like that too. Play School. Hi Beth M, how are you? Are you looking forward to saying goodbye to a challenging 2019 and welcoming a wonderful 2020 and not just a new year but a new decade? I think 2020 just sounds so cool. So cool, because as a kid, all the sort of futuristic novels that I read and TV shows that I watched, 2020 was that futuristic date that got used a lot. And I'm stoked I've made it to 2020. I'm disappointed, especially for anyone who died this year, that they didn't make it to 2020, because it's kind of a woo thing. I mean, I felt the same when I reached, when I was still alive when we turned over to 2000, because I thought that was cool as well. Monkey magic, yeah. Plucky Duck was always funny, and red faces. Well, red not being nice was what made it funny, Lady Pegasus. I didn't do EastEnders. Faulty Towers, yep. The Wombles, yep. Beth is very good. That's awesome. The Wombles of Wimbledon, Carmen, are we? There's a lot of people on the beach. This is hilarious. I love saying to people, there's a lot of people on the beach today. But this beach, like when you go to, say, Bondi in Sydney, strangers sit, 6 inches almost away from you. It's so crowded. Down here we're just blessed with so much space. But this is a busy day on the beach. I can see about, I don't know, maybe 50 people that way, and maybe another 20 back the way we've just come. Oh, a woman, you hit a new decade in age in 2020. That's pretty cool. Must be turning 30, old woman. I'm turning 53, 12 days into our new decade. Fuck a duck. Fuck a duck. 53. Just going to keep walking on the beach every day and stay young. That's my plan. Go have a swim, Spacey. Hey, Kylie, how are you, cuz? The Scarecrow show, the guy that came to life with Dolly. Now that I do not know. Happy birthday in advance, old woman. Happy birthday to everyone in advance for 2020. We're all going to have a birthday in 2020. Are there any other January babies in here? Yeah, some mothers do have them. That was cool too. But the one with the Scarecrow, no. Never heard of that one, because Tassie, we only had ABC and one channel, one commercial station called Channel 6. And we had Channel 6 for a long time. Like, I reckon we only got SBS, and well, whenever SBS came in Australia-wide, we got that, and I would have been in my teens, I reckon. I mean, now we've got shitloads of commercial TV stations, and I don't watch commercial telly anymore, so... But as a kid, yeah, we pretty much had ABC and Channel 6. And Channel 6 was sort of a mismatch of 7, 9 and 10. And I don't know how they chose what we got. But what about the one, another English show? And it was a spin-off from, yes, Minister, I think, because they were the neighbours. The couple, was it The Good Life? The couple that were really self-sufficient. That was quite groundbreaking if you think about it now. Like, they had their own generator and water tanks, and they grew all their veggies, and they had chickens and stuff. Does anyone remember that show? Lady P, you're a Jane baby. Oh, happy 58th on Boxing Day, Spacey. You poor thing. Groundhog Day. So, old woman, that's in March, isn't it? See, we don't have Groundhog Day in Australia because we don't have groundhogs. I can't remember when Groundhog Day is, but... Wurzel Gummidge, no, but Cat Weasel. I mean, I heard of Wurzel Gummidge, but we didn't watch it. Spacey, my Christmas Day message on Facebook was actually wishing happy birthday to the 8 Facebook friends I have whose birthdays were on December the 25th. I said, oh, this baby Jesus, possibly fictitious dude, is getting a bit too much attention. What about the people that are having birthdays on Christmas Day? So, yeah, my Christmas message wasn't. It was a happy birthday to 8 Facebook friends. What date are you, Lady Pegasus? You do love Doc Martin. Oh, February the 2nd is Groundhog Day. Cool. So you're an Aquarian. Nice. I love me some Aquarian. Most people when they meet me don't pick me as a Capricorn because I'm not materialistic. Like, don't get me wrong, I love quality things, but I don't like buy my clothing because it's got some friggin' designer label. Like, if I try on a piece of clothing and it fits me and it happens to be designer, and it's not $800, I might buy it. But right now, my entire outfit is brought to you by Kmart. I've got little short shorts on, I've got a bikini top on, I've got bikini bums on, and I've got a singlet. And yeah, all brought to you by Kmart. Possibly under $50 my outfit. January the 28th. Cool, Lady Pegasus. I'm going to wish you a happy birthday now. You've just rolled into the Aquarian. Yeah, so most people actually pick me as an Aquarian because I've got, or as Aquarius, because I've got a lot of Aquarian stuff in my chart. And I'm very typical, sort of one of my strongest drivers, which is a very Aquarian trait, is we are not huge fans of people, but we love humanity. Well, Aquarians. I'm putting myself in that same category. And that doesn't mean I don't like some people. I like good people. And I love humanity. But, pop. Morning. Love me some Kmart. And hasn't Kmart come a long way, Kylie? I go to Kmart now and I think, fuck, why wasn't Kmart like that when we were uni students? Because we, we'd find, like, we'd do hard rubbish days. We'd go and get some shitty, stinky old couch from the front of someone's house, and then a little second-hand TV that we picked up at an op shop for $10, or not 10, it was probably 100. We'd be sitting on a milk crate. Loads of mismatched plates and cutlery and glasses and mugs. And now you can go into Kmart and for $1,000 you can deck out a house in seriously good shape. And that includes all your furniture. Like, you could buy a couch, a little coffee table, little things to put your telly on, a bed, bedside tables, linen, cushions, rugs, and all the shit you need in your little kitchen for $1,000. And it's cool looking shit, like trendy shit. Totally agree with you about the Aquarian trails here, Lady P. You don't have Kmart in Texas, Beth. No, and our Kmart's different to your Kmart. And according to my friend Ange, my oldest friend from school who's here at the moment, the one who lives in Hawaii, she is like the rest of Australia. We're all just like, how did Kmart become so fucking cool? And look, if you do buy shit at Kmart in Australia, it's not expensive, and you have to accept, if you're buying that stuff, that you might be buying it from businesses that are not ethical. Some of them, not all, but it's possible because the prices are so cheap. That, yeah, I don't think industrial labour laws necessarily apply in the countries where a lot of the stuff from Kmart is being made, if you get my drift. So if you do purchase stuff from there, then a little bit of the money that you're saving by shopping there, donate it to a charity that's trying to stamp out child labour in developing countries, so that you can wear your unethical stuff feeling a bit okay about yourself, if that makes sense. Hi, God loves me. How are you? This is the first time you've joined me in a live. I saw that Aussie Outlaw was live last night, I think. I was with friends, but a notification popped up. I'm assuming he's having a ball on his trip. He's in the Philippines, is he? Or Malaysia or somewhere? For those of you who don't know God Loves Me, she is gorgeous. GLM, as she's known in the Aussie Outlaw world. So many people walking past, judging me. Judging me. But yeah, GLM, good to have you here. So I'm so glad you caught me live too, because I don't go live a lot and I haven't done a lot. I've got plans for my channels for next year. I just had to detox from YouTube and work out why I was following all these people I don't particularly like. So I've been doing a bit of culling and shedding and sort of reassessing. Like, there are some YouTube creators that I will continue to follow because I either love their content or they just make me feel good when I watch them, and their chat makes me feel good because the people in the chat are all really friendly and happy. But yeah, the Philippines, he would be having a ball. He would be having a ball. So where we are, GLM, I'll just give you a bit of a sweeping view. This is the beach where I live in Tasmania, which is the little love heart shaped island at the bottom of Australia. So if I wanted to go and see Aussie Outlaw, because he's in Melbourne, I'd just jump on a flight, 50-minute flight, and I'd be where he lives. So this beach is called Carlton Park Beach, and up that end where the bluff is, that's the surf end, although there's not much swell today. You've got a trade-off. If you have really beautiful warm weather, it's possible you're not going to have much of a swell. But it will pick up later in the day, so a lot of people will come down, maybe not surfing, but there'll be lots of boogie boarding down here later on. And so that end of the beach is called Park. We refer to that bit as Park because it's a big beach. And then up this end, the direction we're walking, the other end is known as Carlton Beach. There's a surf club, but it is technically Carlton Park Beach. But being such a big beach, and all the locals, you know, we're all down here, and so people will go, oh, what end are you going to be at? And I'm like, I'll be down at Carlton end, or I'll be up at the Park end. And then, yeah, that's heading straight out into the ocean. And the number of people on the beach today is quite a lot. I mean, it'll be much busier later in the day, but there will still be mountains of space for people. We don't have a very big population in Tassie. There's only 500,000 people on the entire island. There's 250,000 in the capital city Hobart, which is at the base of that mountain in the distance. That's Mount Wellington, and we were on the top of that yesterday and it was 20 degrees, which is unbelievable. Like, it's over 3,000 metre high mountain, and it was 20 degrees. Yeah, no, the fires unfortunately are on the mainland, and horrific too. Like, I think the whole world is starting to have natural disasters that are, you know, bigger and more violent than ever before. So they've been dealing with what we call in Australia firestorms now. Australia's always had bushfires. It's actually how our just being discreet because there were people walking past. Like anywhere, fire is part of, you know, the regeneration process of landscapes. So we've always had bushfires, and of course Australia does get hot, very hot in summer, and parts of Australia are very hot in winter too. But these firestorms, we actually had one on this peninsula where I live about, I don't know if it was 10 years ago, might have been 5 or 6 years ago, but the Dunalley fires, and that was a firestorm. They were massive balls of fire that bounced down the peninsula and took a lot of homes with it, but incredibly nobody lost their lives. But sadly, the fires we're dealing with at the moment on the mainland, that's what Tasmanians call the big island of Australia, or the North Island, there has been some lives lost. It's very sad. Stop and read chat for a sec. It is soothing, isn't it, Lady P? Your beaches don't look like this? Wow. I thought most small islands do have a lot in common. Country and freak out. They're like, water. Get a lot of turquoise water and a lot of white sand. Yes, old woman, Portugal. When do you, oh, it's a while yet. I remember I asked you that the other time, but I can't wait. I hope you take us for beach walks too. You lost? No. Was there a bit of buffering? We're very lucky. I mean, Tassie's kind of known for its really pristine water and air and so on. And like I said, there's only 500,000 people on this island, and we're the same size in terms of landmass as England. And you think how many millions of people live in England. So yeah, we're very spoiled. Buffering a bit on and off, am I? Keeps freezing. Yeah, well, I can tell you why actually. Because normally when I'm walking back down towards my house and the reception might improve a bit. But bear in mind, I mean, I'm on a beach. You know, on the coast of Tassie. It's pretty amazing that we have reception at the best of times. However, when everyone's on holidays, this town where I live, coastal town that has between 2,000 and 3,000 people in winter, like permanent residents. In summer it doubles to about 6,000. So a lot of people have what we call a beach shack. Some people would call it a holiday house, but in Australia they're called shacks because they are shacks. You know, they're not, well, some people have built McMansions as shacks in recent years, but generally speaking a shack was sort of thrown together, probably not council approved. So yeah, the population doubles here. Is it better now? Western Supermare in the UK. Yeah, I love Wales too. Whereabouts? I love the beach right up in the north where you can almost see Liverpool. I snorted because I was trying to pronounce it. Llandudno. I love Wales. That's probably, I mean, I love Ireland and Scotland and England, but I don't know, Wales really resonated with me. I think that's my favourite UK country. Where I am. The Falls Festival is about to kick off, which is a 3-day music festival that goes across New Year's Eve. It's been happening down here for over 20 years. There's a Falls Festival in Lorne in Victoria, and now Byron Bay even has a mini Falls Festival, but the Tassie one is the family friendly one. The one in Lorne is the pinion drug addicts one. And the Byron Bay one, whatever, they've got Blues Fest, which is way better. But it's not far from here, and Telstra is probably firing on all cylinders down there. So yeah, it's getting better. Oh, your mother-in-law's Welsh. Cool old woman. I love Wales. I really loved it. Reminded me again of Tassie in a lot of ways. The people were very much like Tasmanians, very hospitable, and just wanted people to eat, drink and be merry. Which is what we should all be doing on YouTube. You know, YouTube should be an international gathering of people that just want to eat, drink and be merry. But instead it's that dive bar that I compared it to right back when I first discovered YouTube. I'm like, I think YouTube's just this massive city with lots of bars, cafes and restaurants. And for some reason the true crime community, and now I'm going to throw the drama community in it as well, have all chosen just to hang out in this shitty little dive bar on the outskirts of town. And only a few blocks away there are high-end cocktail bars on the top of buildings. They have amazing views. There's every kind of cuisine restaurant you can imagine, from cheap and cheery through to high-end 30-course degustation menu, Michelin star kind of shit. But for some reason we all discovered the YouTube going live thing. Well, not all of us, but me and a lot of people I met. It was the Chris Watts trial, case that put us all in the same YouTube community, and it's just this shitty little dive bar. And it's just the only thing that changes is who's punching who each night. Who's had a few too many beers and has taken a swing at someone else. And I've said for months, why the hell are we all in this friggin' dive bar? Go out and explore. Go and have an espresso martini on a rooftop bar. Go to a gin bar. Like, just go. So anyway, I'm not hanging in the dive bar, is what I'm saying. I might be watching people on YouTube who do like to hang out in the dive bar when they're doing content that I find entertaining or content that's informative. But I've realised you can't make people be nice. So there's no point continually going into channels, into chats, trying to make people stop fighting and be nice to each other, because they're thriving on it. They live for this shit. And I've listened to too many hours of this shit. And I don't want it. I don't want it. I made some really beautiful friends very quickly on YouTube. But I also got dumped by some very beautiful friends very quickly on YouTube. And I can't handle the fickleness of it. I was with 10 gorgeous girlfriends that, you know, we all met at school 50 years ago. Well, not 50 years ago, 45 years ago, and we still hang out together. And the common theme amongst all of us is we're open and honest with each other. If someone in the group did or said something that someone else thought was a little shitty, and stop speaking to them over one thing, you know what I'm saying? Whereas some of my YouTube buddies, who I really loved and was really excited about building friendships with, you do one thing wrong and boom, you're gone. Fickle. Fickle. So yes, it's fickle. And I was trying to spread goodness and cheer, and it didn't work. But I'm also wondering why I haven't bothered. Goodness and cheer to you, my friends, and to the people in our real world, our real lives. But yeah, I'm not buying drinks in that dive bar anymore. The carpet's sticky, the drinks are watered down, and just a few too many bar fights and scrag fights going on for my liking. YouTube has so much nonsense, so many beautiful people. I agree, GLM, and I think we should all focus on being incredibly selective next year with YouTube and just hang with the beautiful people. And I've said it before, there's a creator I watch who rubs so many people up the wrong way, but I kind of like her because she's true to herself and sticks to her guns. But one of the reasons why I watch her a lot, or listen to her a lot, and watch her, is her chat is just full of people who really care about each other. And I'm not saying they don't hang out in the dive bar, they do, some of them. But her chat is just fun and supportive, and that, you know, they're not ripping. Hi, Papa. Oh my gosh. Is that a baby Rotti?
Yeah.
Oh.
Good one.
Oh. What's his name?
Darren.
Darren?
Yeah.
Darren? I'm on live on YouTube. Do you mind if I show Darren
That's okay.
and Duke, is it?
Zeus.
Oh, Zeus.
Yeah.
How cute. Darren. Who
Yeah.
named Darren?
Well, my mum did. Yeah.
She's got a good sense of
Yeah, she
humour.
did. It was on the TV show she used to watch. So,
Oh, how gorgeous.
you
Well,
try to chase down the picture then about the water.
he'll get there.
He got the sunshine. I'm excited to see.
I love Rottweilers, and Rottweiler puppies are so gorgeous.
So cute.
Oh, lovely to meet you, Darren. And you're soft.
You are a baby piranha.
A baby piranha.
Yeah.
You're a biter. He'll stop biting. Puppies
Yeah.
bite everything. Bye, Darren. Nice to meet you.
Bye.
Bye. Oh my God, did you guys just see Darren? Darren. Hey Renee Scott, how are you, gorgeous girl? I love taking you for walks on the beach. Old woman. Moshi, you are awesome too, my gorgeous girl. So glad you popped in. I've missed you so much. GLM, I've just learning to stay away from them these days. I just ignore all the drama. It's hard for those people to fight with a wall. That's all they'll get from me. That's perfect. Isn't Darren cute? Oh, woman, oh, you're a black lab mum. Yeah, we had labs growing up. Darren was Darren. The names people give their pets crack me up. I mean, when I adopted Biscuit, I couldn't change her name because she's 9 and she answers to Biscuit because she thinks she's a dog. She's a cat, for those of you who aren't aware of who Biscuit is. But I'm actually really glad that her name is Biscuit because it makes people smile. And yeah, when my sister sang to her on Christmas Day, sang Away in a Manger, and then changed it to the little Lord Biscuit, no crying she makes. But now, if I want Biscuit to sort of snap out of I'm going to eat your face off mode, I sing Away in a Manger, but I have to sing the little Lord Biscuit. And she loves it. And the more out of tune, the better. So cute. Renee, I just had Christmas with my mom. I had the flu a week. Oh, you poor thing. You poor thing. But I'm glad you've had Christmas with your mum. That's cool. Look at the sand dunes, the sky. I love all the colours of the beach. No, I mean, the water is my favourite. But I just love the greens. And then the sand. And then the blues. And look at this beautiful sky today. Like, this is how I'm going to stay young, walking on this beach every day. Well, which I do anyway. Biscuit is hilarious, Renee. She's so spoiled. Oh my gosh. She got so many Christmas presents. But funny enough, like most animals and children, I believe, her favourite thing was actually the paper. The wrapping paper. I'm just scrunching up balls of wrapping paper. She's got wrapping paper to keep her entertained for about a year, I reckon. I bought a basket to put all of her toys in because she's got a crazy amount of toys. But for a 9-year-old cat, I wasn't sure she'd be into toys, but she is. She loves them. But my sister got her a Tasmanian devil hand puppet, which isn't actually a cat toy. It's a genuine hand puppet for, you know, a kid or an adult. And because it's almost the same size as her, she was fully hissing and attacking it. And its name is Thomas. It came with a name. And she actually picks Thomas up and carries him around the house and takes him out into her enclosure and like she's hunted him down. It's pretty cute. I'm glad you're feeling better. Because GLM, you've got a little one, haven't you? A little bub. From memory, a little boy. I've heard you talking about him on Aussie Outlaws. And yeah, they like the boxes and the wrapping paper more than the gifts, I think. Little kids and animals. Next year, I'm just going to say to people, just bring her a piece of wrapping paper with a bow on it. She loves the ribbons as well. I'm so glad you're feeling better, Renee. It's not nice being sick at Christmas time. It's funny, one of my American friends was saying how she's got the flu at the moment, and it's like, really? That sucks, having the flu in summer? And then I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I mean, it does suck having the flu in summer, but it ain't summer where she is. And the water's pretty warm. I think I might actually go back to the house and make an early lunch and come back down for a swim. And then get ready to go into the Taste of Tasmania. Which, look, normally I'd probably do a live from a place like that just so you can see all the amazing food and wine and beers, music. It's a really good event. But most of you know, if you've been with me on lives before, like Australians generally, and particularly Tasmanians, we're not into having cameras shoved in our face. Like, there's a fair amount of discomfort just from the people I've been walking past. They're like, am I on the screen? And no, you're not. You're fine. And the taste is packed. I mean, we're talking thousands of people in these huge warehouses on the, well, they're piers, you know, with indoor and outdoor tables and heaps and heaps and heaps of different food stalls. And yeah, I wouldn't get punched, but it would be really hard to do it without upsetting people. Because that's one thing I've discovered with YouTube is if an American goes walkabout, everyone waves at the camera and people are like, hey YouTube, like they want to say hello and stuff. Australians, we're not really like that. We're kind of like, get that camera away from my face. Nell, DNSM, hello. How are you? You're a newbie too. It's cool, I'm loving this. Oh woman, I think it's the same for cats as people. You don't stop playing because you get old. You get old because you stop playing. So true. So true, old woman. And I love George Bernard Shaw. I am so glad you caught us on here too, going for our little stroll. I am nearly back at my my track up to my place. It's not my track, the track I take to my place. Because I can walk to 5 beaches from my house, I call this one my beach because it's the closest to my house. So like when friends come to stay and we go to all the different beaches, I'll be like, what beach do you want to go to today? And they kind of look at me going, oh, I can't remember all the names. So I actually refer to this one as my beach, just so they know which one this is, if that makes sense. But before I sign off, I think we should have a little share of what we want for 2020. Now mine is idealistic and it ain't going to happen. I just want people to be nice to each other, kind. It costs nothing, but it makes such a big difference. And as I shed a lot of pointless YouTube hours watching and listening to people I really wouldn't spend a minute with in my real life, I shed them because they may not necessarily be nasty people. Some of them are. I got captivated. I love a good train wreck. But their chats are vicious. And I just don't want to be hanging in that kind of a crowd. So yeah, my pretty sort of idealistic and unlikely to actually happen, so kind of pointless, is for people just to be kinder to each other and gentle. You know, I've said goodbye to 3 darling girlfriends this year, all of whom were in my life because they were really good people. And they're no longer on the planet, which is so sad. You know, I can't believe I sat here at the start of the year talking about my friend Julie's death, and now at the end of the year I've lost Lou and Bib, and plenty of other people have experienced greater losses this year than I have. But you know that saying, only the good die young. Like 3 really extraordinary people who made a difference and made people feel good about themselves are no longer with us. And I just wish people would stop using online platforms to just fight and rip each other to shreds and end friendships over minor things, and explore some deep relationships with some really good people that you have spotted out and about on YouTube, and then put your energy into that. Take it offline, call each other once a week, write to each other, send each other little gifts, you know. Stop putting so much of your time into all these people that, like I said, you wouldn't hang out with them in real life, or the people in that chat. I'm not investing my time in train wreck viewing. I think it does actually cause depression. I think it can lead to isolation, and then you're sort of stuck in this whirlpool watching negative people pulling each other down, and you just get caught up in it as well. Even if you try to spread messages of love and hope, you're way outnumbered. I wish YouTube would get rid of the thumbs down feature, because somebody thumbs down, I don't know if it was my podcast. It was my podcast, and it was when I got home. I wasn't when I got home from Bib's funeral, but Bib's funeral was the day before, and that one little thumbs down, I was just like, I hope you make an effort to be a little bit nicer next year, because you don't know what's going on in anyone's life, and you don't know how that little thumbs down, people go, don't let it affect you. It's not affecting me to the point that I can't sleep. How it affects me is why people just going out of their way to be assholes, you know. If you don't like my podcast, unsubscribe. It's that easy. But the fact that, I just lost a beautiful friend and someone was shitty enough to do that, it's like, what sort of piece of shit human are you? How about you try to be a bit nicer next year? We had Cocker Spaniels too, old woman. That's kitties. Alright, I've got to scroll through chat. Okay, well, you go and feed that lab of all. Oh, you haven't been on... Oh, yeah, Nell, okay. It was a DNSM bit I don't remember. I probably was lazy last time and just called you Nell. the DNSM bit I didn't recognise. Yeah, Renee, I mean, you and I both met because of a group that at the time seemed like, potential long-time friends, and we were both ejected and rejected quite early on in the piece, and here you are. We're still hanging out, and I love that. And I love that you're mates with Bridget too. I'm sorry for everyone's losses this year, old woman too. And look, it does get worse as you continue to get older, but the other thing is I've had death in my life from a very early age. I lost my first friend when I was only 3, and it really hasn't stopped since Sabina died. So I'm pretty pragmatic about it, but it's, when you're losing friends, and I'm living in absolute fear of losing a sibling, because without our mum and dad now, the 3 of us already was super tight, but now we're really tight. And at Bib's funeral, her kids, who were young adults, it was really sad to see how young they were. I mean, I felt young losing my mum at 33, and these kids were in their 20s. But when her best friends, like her girlfriends, got up to speak, that really hit home, and then her siblings, and it's like, oh, I can't even imagine. I don't want to. I hope I go before my siblings, so I don't know what it's like to lose one. Life is too short. Correct, Lady Pegasus. There's no point, and online hatred is really pointless, because how can you... I can't stand the word hate, but how can you hate anyone? Online. Like, I can understand historical figures who've done some pretty shitty things. I can understand people hating what they did. But I just find the YouTube, even the word hate, just the way it gets thrown around on there, that affects me. I hate seeing the word hate. GLM, so 7-year-old, puts up toy videos. People go over and give him thumbs down. Oh, yeah, see? Why would you do that to a kid? And it does affect you. I don't care what anyone says, And I love that on Facebook now, people don't see who's liked your stuff. I think that's a step forward. But yeah, the thumbs down on a kid, I mean, that's so cruel. I would put thumbs up. I mean, friends of mine post photos of kids and videos of kids, and I don't watch a lot of it, but I always put a comment and a little love heart just to support them. Oh yeah, so your mum at 97 would have lost everyone, old woman. And that's, there was an Australian last year who was 110, I think, who couldn't qualify for voluntary euthanasia because he technically wasn't dying, which, is unfair when you're 110. I mean, you're dying the second you're born. But he ended up having to go to the Netherlands to be able to euthanize himself. But people kept saying to him, why do you want to leave? You could still have a moment of happiness. And he said, I haven't had a moment of happiness it might have been 100 actually, I can't remember his age, but he said, I haven't had a moment of happiness in 20 years. He said, I've lost my wife, all my best friends, and I've actually got children and grandchildren that are dying now. And I just want to go. And he did. So, in closing, I don't know if I'm buffering now, if I'm talking to myself, but yeah, I'm taking the idealistic, just wish people would be... It's not even necessarily that I want people to be kind or nice, because that's probably expecting too much from some people. But could people be mindful of other people before they choose to be shitty? You know, because to me, the person that puts a thumbs down on GLM's 7-year-old son's video, or the people who put thumbs down on my memorial video to one of my girlfriends at the start of this year, if they were in my position and someone thumbs down them, you wouldn't hear the end of it. That's what I can't stand about those people. They're hypocrites. They will treat people with absolute contempt, but God forbid, and this is something I have learnt on YouTube actually, people that have been, I have witnessed so many people on YouTube being horrible to people for a long time, and when they've been outed, or whether that when they've had the same treatment thrown back at them, you don't hear the end of it. I'm sorry, but what's good for the goose is good for the gander. If you are going to play with fire, you're going to get burned. There's so many cliches, and they're all so true. But the easiest way to deal with it, for me, to stop this sort of constant conflict, wishing people would be nicer and kinder, I just don't watch them. I'd like to put more time and energy into my own channels and hanging out with you groovers. Serenity B, hello. When you talk to yourself, you get all the right responses. So true. So what do you guys want? Like, I think people, but just being mindful. And that goes down to even simple things like if you're at a supermarket and somebody's trying to load something into their trolley, don't stand right next to them. Like, either help them or give them space. You know, mindfulness isn't just how you treat people verbally. It's also just in your actions as well. But just be mindful that someone who's just uploaded a little video because it makes them happy because they've just lost someone they love, or they've just lost their job, or they're about to get kicked out of their house and they don't know where they're going to go and live. Just because you didn't like the little video they've put up, don't thumbs down it, because it might have brought them joy and they want to share it with someone else who might also experience joy. You know what I mean? And yeah, rather than me going into next year talking about how we're still stuck in this friggin' YouTube dive bar, I'm going. I'm leaving it. I'm going to go back to the high-end cocktail bars that I have sampled throughout the year, and the big Mexican restaurants and the huge Korean barbecue garden and all of these other fictitious places in the big city of YouTube that I have experienced throughout this year. Some of them I've gone there and gone, that was interesting, but I'm not going to go back. I didn't like the menu. But others I'm like, yeah, I think I can hang out here now. But the dive bar crew, I'm keeping a few little pearls from that. Mainly because I love their chat. I find their chat supportive and full of love and fun. Fun! Oh, thank you, GLM. Well, I think you are too. I think you're a lovely person as well. But before I sign off, what would you guys like for the new year, for 2020, new year, new decade? What would brighten your lives? I'm not talking about just YouTube, I might add. I'm talking about people, the human race generally. I think people have just become grumpier. And I think we should all just take a deep breath and go, everyone's dealing with shit. That's part of being alive. But, you know, I mean, I'm about to chuck in a corporate career to do something very, you know, community focused and get my hands dirty and take a huge pay cut, and I couldn't be happier. I really couldn't. Serenity Bee, I call the start of the week Mindful Monday. That's beautiful. Thoughtful Thinking Tuesday. Yeah, oh, how gorgeous. Serenity Bee, you've got to do a little video on your channel about that if you haven't already. Nell, or a struggling child. One YouTuber's child has autism, and you wouldn't believe how many not only give looks, but outwardly give likes, outwardly give advice. There is some beautiful support, and I think, you know, YouTube too, you could, I mean, I know that fundraising can be a bit of a problem, but there's clever ways to do it. But, you know, the way YouTube can rally around and help people is pretty phenomenal, and that's not utilised enough. I follow a group on YouTube that do charity drives, you know, and go around little country towns in America and pick up blankets, for example, to give out to the homeless and stuff like that, and it's very uplifting. Really simple ideas that make a big difference. I mean, we've got a great idea down here which is called Free on a Tree, where if you've got a coat or a beanie or a scarf or a pair of gloves in winter, rather than dropping them off at the charity shops, and there's nothing wrong with that, but the reality is you still have to pay in a charity shop for clothing, right? Even if it's $1. But what we do is we hang our coats that you put a little label on it, which is Free on a Tree, and someone walking past in the middle of winter who might be cold can just take the coat and wear it and stay warm. And I think that's a beautiful idea as well. And, you know, there's a virtual possibility with YouTube to do similar good things. So, you know, utilising our channels to spread peace and love and all that sort of stuff. Why not? Let's just do it. People are always going to be fighting on YouTube. People are always going to be fighting in the real world. I'm just going to leave them to it. I don't have the time or the energy. I'll fight for something I believe in, but by saying fight, I mean I'll be passionate and promote the crap out of it. I won't actually scream at some other person who disagrees with me. Lady Pegasus, I often see an elderly person in the supermarket and see them trying to find something, stop and ask them if they're looking. Yeah, they love that. And the other thing they love too, Lady P, is if there's someone standing behind me in a coffee line, and for some reason, whenever there is, it seems to be someone elderly, I always buy their coffee for them. Or I just say, here's $10 for whatever they want or whatever. And the other thing is when they're struggling to find their purse, but they're only buying a carton of milk, I actually say to the girl, just keep adding my groceries onto that, I'm covering it. So they don't have to fumble around for their wallets and find their coins. GLM wants to build more beautiful experiences and memories with your little guy. Yeah, gorgeous. Gorgeous. Old woman wants a one-payer healthcare system in the States, and Bernie Sanders is president. That's why I love you, old woman. Hey, look, I don't care who people vote for. In America, I don't live there, but I'm not a fan of your president. But I'll just leave it at that. I don't want to start a political debate. Your healthcare system is heartbreaking. The number of beautiful people that are losing their lives because they can't afford medicine, it just makes me feel sick. Especially medicine that we can buy here over the counter, you know. Or if we need it for a serious health issue, we can get it for free or heavily subsidised. I'm very lucky to live in a country that has superb healthcare, I have to admit. It scares me that yeah, people that have got everyday conditions who could be easily cured in the States are dying because they can't access the medicine. Serenity Bee, haven't ever done anything on my channel, commercials in real life. Well, there you go. Into homelessness and world peace for old woman. Yeah, wouldn't that be lovely? God bless you too, GLM. Thank you. And if I don't chat to you again beforehand, Happy New Year as well. Let's make 2020 an absolute ripper. Yeah, there's going to be bad stuff that's going to happen. That's unfortunately, if you're alive, bad stuff's going to happen. It's part of life. But I think 2020 is going to be really cool. Oh, woman, I watch a First Amendment auditor who uses all her super chat to buy blankets for homeless teens. See, there you go. You think about some of these channels that have monetised their videos where they are just bitching about other creators and then they put ads in them, and the amount of money they're making, or the ones that are still cashing in on Chris Watts. Think what they could have done with that money. And look, if somebody on YouTube, if that's their income and that's how they survive, then I still think it's shitty that they are cashing in on a murder victim. I can't think of anyone that is, but off the top of my head. Most of the YouTube creators I watch actually have jobs as well, so they're not, their videos are not driven by monetization, if that makes sense. And they actually turn monetization off in some instances, but yeah, imagine doing that. I mean, I don't think my channels, even if I get to the amount of hours and subs and everything else to monetize, I don't think I would ever be monetized. I don't think I'd qualify anymore. I think that if I did, and I think I said this a long time ago, like I've got charities that I regularly support, and but the other thing is the Karma Project down here. If people went onto the Karma Project page and said they needed $50 to pay for a cleaner to come through their house because they've got 2 broken arms, I'd love to be the person that can just go, I'm dropping $50 around, see you in 5 minutes. Simple acts of kindness goes such a long way. Thanks, Serenity B. I'm really excited. I don't know what I'm going to be doing yet, but I've got some things in the pipeline. Of course, you know, the Christmas break, summer in Australia, it's not the best time to be getting a job, but there's things happening. Vivi, hello, beautiful. Go and enjoy your lunch date, gorgeous. So I'm going to wrap up. I'm going to go home and have some brunch, and I'm actually going to record my podcast because it comes out on every Wednesday, and I've written it, but I haven't recorded it yet. I don't normally record it till a couple of days before, but it takes about 7 hours to record and edit it, even though my episodes are between 10 and 15 minutes. It's unbelievable the amount of work. But I want to get that all uploaded because it's just going to get crazy with friends visiting and so on. So yeah, I'm going to at least record it today and then hopefully edit it tomorrow and have it scheduled for uploading on Wednesday. And then I'll head into Taste of Tasmania with my uncle and auntie and my sister and some friends who are visiting from Hawaii and the mainland. So I hope you all have a beautiful evening, if it's evening where you are. If it's daytime, I hope you're having a gorgeous day and you've got some beautiful sunny weather like this. This is perfect beach weather. I'm not burning up or anything. Like, people would knock Tasmania's climate. This is, like, we're out and about every day because we don't get fried in 42 degree heat every day. When we do have a 42 degree day, we all melt and can't cope, but and we do get them. But looks like it's going to be a beautiful day at the beach. Thanks for joining me on my walk. I love all of your plans for 2020. Oh, woman, that means a lot. I love you coming on my walks too. And thank you, Lady Pegasus. I hope that that's cheered you up a bit. I'm so sorry again about your Christmas. But onwards and upwards, as my dad would say. And yeah, let's all bond together in 2020 and spread some love. It's so easy, you know, and we've all got so much more. I said this on the live a long time ago and I got blasted for it. We've all got so much more than most people on the planet. And someone in my chat was like, I don't, I live from pay to pay and I've only got $20 in the bank. And it's like, yeah, but you're also on a phone with internet connection, presumably in a house, wearing clothing and possibly with some food in your fridge still. All of those things put us into a very privileged category, even if we've only got $20 in the bank, right? And I live from pay to pay. I'm no different to most of us. But I read a statistic a few years ago that only, I'm probably going to get this wrong, I think it was 7%, but let's just say 15% just in case, of the world's population has ever used a phone. If that doesn't put things into perspective, any of us that are sitting in YouTube chats going, I'm broke, we've got access to things that, you know, like I said, let's say it is 7%, 93 of the world's population has never even used, let alone owned, So yeah, I think we've all got the capacity to do things next year that make a difference, you know. And if you don't have $5 to spare to buy a pensioner a coffee or whatever, then just open a door for them, smile at them, ask them if they need help carrying something, you know. Like, I love that YouTube channel, getting blankets for homeless teens. Like, if you are monetized but you feel you can monetize your channel and you feel uncomfortable about it, then find a way of using that money creatively to help someone else. And we just as a planet, we just need to look after each other, because we're all human beings. We're all sensitive. We've all got emotions. And lastly, get the hell out of the YouTube dive bar. I'm not knocking anyone who still wants to go in them, and I'm not knocking anyone who loves a train wreck. Like I said, I do too, but I just can't watch people on YouTube rip each other to shreds day after day after day after day. It's been over a year I've seen this crap going on. Go find the channels that make you feel good about yourself. And if you can't find one, then start one. And if you can't start one, then go to the beach and build a sandcastle. I don't know. Anyway, I love you guys. My chat appears to have frozen. Have a great day wherever you are, and yeah, be nice to each other. Costs nothing, but it can mean millions of dollars to someone in terms of how it makes them feel. I love you guys. Bye for now.